Welcome to another episode of Reseller Evolution. I'm Scott.
And I'm Carl.
How's it going, Carl?
Good. We're on episode 33.
33.
And what's the topic this week?
Oh, wow. Let me just refresh my memory here. Let's say why people buy from Amazon and not eBay.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of people like that. Even sellers who sell on eBay always buy from Amazon. It's funny, but we'll get into that. First is, how was your week?
Dude, like, honestly, buddy, like, I hate saying this because they're going to say, Scott, you're full of shit. But I'm telling you, dude, this was a phenomenal week. Phenomenal week. Yes, phenomenal.
I believe fake news, man.
Huh? Fake. Dude, I know. You guys can believe me or don't believe me. Like, honestly, it's just been going so well.
That's great.
Had a great, like, one day at the booth there was crazy good. There's many days, but one day was just phenomenal. The booth is surpassing expectations by far. eBay has been doing well. I've started listing again. I don't know if you noticed that, Carl, but I've been hammering a bunch of listings, and I've been doing well.
Yep.
I had a surprise sale, $300. Didn't ask for a discount or anything. And it was a Canon. It was, the model's not going to make a difference, but basically what it was a 8mm vintage Canon camera, video camera. So you do the, like for filmmaking, an 8mm, I guess. So anyway, it went to Burbank, California. I got $300 for it. Now, why did I put 300 and not 600? Because one button didn't work, and then I couldn't really test it because I don't have film. Right. So if that button worked, I would have just said it worked. But because that's not working, I'm like, okay, maybe something else could be wrong.
Yeah,
but for that, I paid $5 for it, so $300 is fine. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I don't have to worry about any problems. It went to a store in Burbank, California. Mm-hmm. So I thought, well, I'm going to have to look this business up. And I guess they specialize in repairing and selling 8mm film stuff. And Burbank, California is, part of Hollywood there. So I'm assuming they specialize in this kind of stuff for, they said, amateur and professional filmmakers. So.
Okay. Yeah. Actually, I saw quite a few cameras which have issues.
Yeah.
To refurbers.
Okay.
Like on a fairly regular basis. So that makes a lot of sense. For film cameras, I never take film with them, right? I never and develop them.
Yeah.
So I used to put that in the listing, and I always say if there's an issue, send it back, and really that's not really affected anything. So
and this was purchased like within hours of listing it. I was surprised. Mm-hmm. Like, so I would have listed it, and the next day it was sold. Like, it was gone. So, less than 24 hours for sure. But I think it was like 3 or 4 hours of listing it, and it was gone. So they're on a little bit of a different timeline than us too. I think they're 3 hours behind. So so if I listed at like, I don't know, I don't even know, but 6 o'clock, it's still 3 o'clock, right? So the business hours and stuff. So, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Just a great little sale there too, right? So
that's awesome. That's great.
So, things are going good, Carl. Can't complain. Everything's just, I just stepped it up with the listing. I knew I had to eventually, because if I want to be successful, part of selling is listing. So
can't sell it if you don't list it.
Yeah, that's right. So I just kind of tuned everything else out, except for the booth and Stephanie. And
nice. Just put that in there.
I give her a little bit of space at time, but no, it's going well. Nice little pick. I was really happy with what I got. Saturday yard sailing was it rained, so that's going to play a little bit on it. But honestly, I wasn't finding much for the 2 hours that I was out there from about 6:45 till 8 o'clock. And then by 8:30 it was raining for sure. So, it is what it is, but I don't care because I had a good pick during the week. It was a private pick, and hopefully it leads to more. But I mean, I scored so well on that pick. So, how was your week, Carl?
Oh, it's been good. Sales been slow, but I've been distracted. So I've been distracted by the booth. And but for me, like, I did go garage sailing and I picked up a bunch of Ben 10 toy figures. I don't know if
Okay.
you're familiar with
Yep.
those.
Yep.
They can have value. Like the ones I have, none of them were like super special, but I got a big bag full of toys, including some other like air hog remote control toys. And the guy asked $15, and I knew there must have been at least $200. And I was, I thought in my head, well, I'll pay 20. And when he mentioned 15, I just went for it. And I said, yeah, I didn't even negotiate. That was a really good price. And then I got it home. It's like, yeah, no, I did well. Like, I had to clean up the toys a bit. They were, played with, but I should get it all back just from that RC toy. So
nice.
That was good. But there wasn't a lot of garage sales. There's only like 4. So I forgot, like, it was a long weekends last weekend. And I find when there's a long weekend, there's less garage sales. It could be August as well, but or a combo with the both. So, but it was still worth going out just for that one.
See, I kind of find it's so funny. We live in the same country. We actually live in the same province, but we're 8 hours apart. And there's such a difference, in yard sales. And just, I'm also, you're in the city and I'm also in rural area, but like, I find yard sales are better on long weekends. And in fact, I even find some people do it like they start Friday and they'll do the yard sale right up into and including Monday. So,
oh wow,
yeah, like unless they sell everything, but they just kind of camp out and consider it a long weekend yard sale. So, it's funny how there's such a different mentality, right, or different style of doing things.
Well, and don't take my word on it. Like I said, garage sales have never really been my thing. So I did more this year though than I've ever done before. So at least I'm going out there and looking. So
any word or update on the flea market?
Right. So my I'd sent them a message and they never replied, which wasn't that surprising, to be honest. And then my friend Tim sells at the flea market, and he said, "Oh, Mark says he never even got the message."
Okay.
I gave Mark, the guy who runs it, so I gave him a call on Sunday, and he says, "Oh yeah, how about you come down and pick a booth out? Because just like I don't know if you said on the show, Scott, or off the show, but you said like people are going to start really getting hot on those spots for fall.
Yes,
and you should come in because things are going to get really hot for fall."
Yeah.
So
if you want a good spot, you should get in there as soon as possible.
Exactly. Yeah. So Sunday I didn't expect to, but I drove down there.
Yeah.
And went to pick a spot. So he had 5 spots available. And so I committed. So I have a spot for the perfect timing because I wanted it for September the 1st, and it's available the weekend. I wanted it the weekend before, and it is available the weekend before. So it's like, he said I can have it from September 1st. It's only on Sundays, but he says it should be empty the week and before. So if I want to come in and pay the $34, it's $34 a Sunday.
Yeah,
I can come in and use it that day as well.
Okay.
So it's a 10 by 10. And like I said, it's every Sunday, 8 to 4. If you're not there, you don't sell, obviously. This other guy was selling a bunch of pegboard. He had pegboard walls that can separate you and the booth beside you.
Yeah.
And for the back wall. So yeah, he's moving out. So I took his pegboard. Well, hopefully we'll see if he's still there. Maybe he went, "Oh, thanks for the money. See you later."
Yeah.
But it's not that much money. If it doesn't happen, I'm not going to be. Well, I'll be like upset, but not too upset. Anyways, I'm being paranoid. I'm very paranoid. Anyway, so we went around the mall and the flea market, trying to figure out which is the best ones. So there was one stall, but like the guy across from it plays music all day. Like he sells records, and that would drive me nuts. Like when I drive around, I drive in silence often. I can't stand too much noise.
Yeah.
So that would drive me nuts, especially 8 to 4 every day, which, the booth guy, he can do what he wants, right? It's his booth,
Sure.
but I don't have to be across from it. And then there was like 5 other spots I could have picked. And, yeah, it's not right at the entrance, but it's to the left. Like the entrance is only maybe 8 booths, and then you had to pick a branch to go down.
Yep.
And so I'm off one of the branches right away, like 6 booths in or something. So it should be fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, it was nice. So I committed, right? So it's definitely happening. And right now I'm just planning the layout because it's a 10 by 10, and I want to be able to sit. So I've been obsessed with looking at different formats, and like for the first weekend, I'm not going to have everything up. I'll just have like a couple basic tables, my chairs, and stuff priced and out, and worry about like building up the booth after that. You know what I mean? I'm not going to try and get it all done for the first, because I'm going to want to get a feel for what sells, what price it sells at, how big a 10 by 10 really is, what I feel comfortable with. So
you'll be surprised. Like I'm kind of picturing the setup, so I really don't know. But first of all, do they supply tables or do you have to?
I have to, yeah.
Okay.
Well, technically, yeah, but often people are selling stuff too, so I could like that. Like I have a couple folding tables,
Yeah.
very basic folding tables. So hopefully I'll have the pegboard,
Yeah,
because that would be actually useful. So I'll have the pegboard up and hopefully have the tables down and a chair.
okay.
And that'll be probably it. Oh, I'm also gonna get one of those shelving units that have like a flat base, like the shelves are like don't have holes in them. You know what I mean? Like I have a lot of plastic shelving around me, but they have like perforations through the shelving shelves, and I don't want that for the booth. So I'll probably pick up something from Canadian Tire.
Okay.
And have at least one good shelf.
Try Facebook Marketplace. You might be able to get cheaper because Canadian Tire is ridiculous for shelves.
I think
like
it's
you're
$80.
paying $150, $200 minimum.
Yeah, I think
right?
the
Unless
stuff I
they're the
want.
plastic ones.
Yeah, it's not plastic the one I want, but it's $80.
$80.
$80. Yeah.
Okay. Because usually on Facebook Marketplace you can find them a little cheaper, but that's up to you.
Yeah.
So 8 by 10, or sorry, 10 by 10. So I'm thinking you'll be surprised how much story, like, so you can put stuff under the tables, you can put the tables in front of you, you can have lots of shelving and stuff. So you're going to clear out a lot of stuff out of your house right away.
Yeah, I want to create.
You'll be
surprised. I've been obsessed by watching videos, right? Like,
yeah.
So I want to have something that actually draws some attention. So you just you want something that like draws attention. I want to make sure I'm prepared, like have change. I have to order bags, like all the stuff. But a lot of it, I'm just glad I did it, right? And I'm ready to go.
Yeah. And don't, I just don't be discouraged if it's slower at first than expected. I don't think it will be, to be honest with you, but like it'll come around for sure, bud. Like you got the perfect size, and I'm sort of jealous is totally not the word, but I'm kind of like excited for you because I would love to do that where I could sell my stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you're gonna meet. It's going to be a good place to source. You're going to meet people who might be trying to get rid of stuff. So I would put that kind of sign on your front table, like we buy as well as sell. You know what I mean? So something like that. Maybe have some cards ready eventually. Like you don't have to worry about it right away, but like Carl buys and sells. It doesn't even have to be a business. Just say, we buy your items.
I got the cards ready, actually. The cards are all ready to go. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Good.
Yeah, I got those years ago. They need to be redone, but they're good enough.
Yeah, as long as they got the right phone number, that's all that matters.
I think I just have email. That's actually something I want to change, to put the phone number on there. But
okay. Anyways. Well, I don't put my number on it on the cards. I write it in pen when I give them out.
Oh.
Yeah. So I just have a line on the back and I fill my phone number out there. Because on the front advertises my YouTube, right? Oh. So if I'm going to give them a card, I'll just write my phone number on the back. We actually have 2 types of cards. The other one has Steph and I's name on it, saying we buy and sell, and then we have a phone number on there too, because a lot of time it's actually Stephanie's number, because a lot of times I don't answer my phone. You know what I mean? I just half the time I can't even find my phone, but she always answers it, and she always gets all the information correct and stuff. Um, so anyway, I don't know. So we have two different types of cards for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Like it's hard to say until we've done it, right? Like I know trying to some of the people just started. They said the first weekend or two they basically broke even at that $34.
Oh, I think you'll do better than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's good. I'm gonna bring fans. It's bloody hot, and there's no AC or anything in this place, right?
People want to buy them. People try to buy your fans.
Yeah, no. Well, I'll charge them for standing in front of them for like 5 minutes, $5.
Nice. Yeah, I just think it's great, and you're going to start seeing more items you can go out and buy, like bubblegum machine, like big things that you wouldn't ship.
Yeah,
right. You'll be able. So I look forward to it, dude. I look forward to hearing each week how it's going along.
Well, the worst case scenario is I'll have something to bitch about every week, including the other stuff I was bitching about. I can't believe what this guy tried to offer me at the booth. You want to buy all my stuff for $10? His name was Scotty.
So what's your personality like? Like, are you easily flustered? Like,
yes.
can you get overwhelmed very quickly?
Yes. Actually, yes, I can be. Yes.
Okay. So you're going to have to just take a breath now and then, because it's going to get nutty at times. And then you're going to deal with assholes at times. So you can't get mad. Yes. You just have to, like, buddy, come on. What are you doing? You know?
Yeah, I've heard that warning for so many people that you're going to deal with assholes.
You're going to.
Yeah. And just to stay firm. And, you know, the thing that helps me not be flustered is putting on the prices. Because I'm not good at, like, trying to figure out things on the fly in my head.
Yeah.
And at least having prices, I have a base. I'm not trying to. We'll see. And I don't want to sell. Like, here's the scenario: is I don't want to sell stuff in bulk. I don't want someone to say how much for everything. I have no interest in that.
Well, for the right price, no.
Not even then. It's like I don't want to.
Like, if you have $10 and you have 100 keychains, you got $10, and somebody offers you $50 or $100 for them all.
Well, see, I'm already flustered. I don't even know. So $50 at $100 times 10. What?
Yeah, like, it's just cash. If I have, let's say, 50 keychains and I have $3 a piece, right? So that's $150. So if somebody comes and offers me $50, $60, and I've only got 10, maybe I've even sold a couple already. I'm here, buddy. Take it.
Oh, see it? I'd be like, give me 100.
Well, you can ask, you can bump it up $60, $75.
See, that's
say, oh, you know what? There's a lot there. We're looking at $150. I'll do 60. I'll do 65. You know what I mean? That's the lowest I go.
Because I have no interest in selling to other resellers. Because assuming if they're buying all those, they're buying. Yeah, and I do care.
To me, it's about getting more money and going back. Because, see, I'm the guy that's going out and finding this shit, like, no problem. So I don't mind selling it to people for a premium, as a like a reselling premium. If that's the word pick. My thoughts are they're going to keep coming back to me, and I can keep giving them good deals. But I'm out there digging every day. You know what I mean? Like, every day is a little bit of a stretch, but I'm out there probably 2-3 days a week minimum. You know what I mean? So I find the stuff, right? I find it cheap. So and that's kind of maybe my problem. Like, if sourcing ever dried up for me, I don't know, maybe I'd go into complete panic mode. But right now, I got to get rid of shit. You know what I mean? So I don't have a problem with that kind of stuff. Like, to me, I invite Adam over here to buy my cameras, and I give.
He's so happy too. Like,
and I give him a markup on it, but I usually end up giving he'll offer me an amount, and I usually go under it, or I'll throw extra stuff in, like an Ouija board or something like that. But it's just that fast nickel, slow dime scenario. Now, I have listed a couple of cameras, and I've done well with them, but by the time the premiums come off, or the commissions and all that kind of stuff comes off, my time listing it and packaging it and shipping it and all that kind of stuff, you know what? There's probably not too much of a difference. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm probably losing 20-25%.
this way you're getting rid of it too. Like it won't sit in your
And
dust
I'm
pile
moving it,
forever.
yeah. And I'm just taking that money and going back out and buying even more. You know what I mean?
As
So
long as you can keep doing that, then you're good, right?
yeah. Like if I
So
have $5 in a camera and it's a $200 camera and Adam gives me 50-60 bucks for it, he's probably offering me 100, but I'll take probably 60-65 on a $200 camera. eBay's taking 20%, 25% by the time it's all done with, your premium and because you got to pay. They take their commissions off your shipping and everything else. Like, so it's 20-25%. So they're taking $50. So now I'm down to 150. Now I put my time. So if I get $65 out of a $10 investment, I'm completely happy with that. If it's to someone like Adam, I'm not going to sell everything like that. You know what I mean? Because instead of listing it, now I can go and list something else. So,
your time is your time. You're using your time best for you.
However, if I'm sitting here with a box with 10 items in it, 4 of them are cameras, and I don't know when I'm going to get more stuff to pick, I wouldn't sell them. I would sell them myself, right?
Yeah.
But when I'm sitting here with a garage, 2 rooms, and then the basement, a room upstairs, plus my eBay storage room, plus a shed that I had to put up out in the backyard so I could put more stuff in it. You know what I mean? Like
the stuff along the side of the house.
Well, that got cleared up last week. That kind of stuff. Like now I'm in a position where, I don't mind doing that. So I'm kind of getting off track here, but I'm just saying, when you have your booth, you're now like, I don't have a problem selling it that way. You know what I mean? It's stuff that I'm offload. It's not your eBay stuff for the most part anyway. So what do you care?
No. So,
right?
Well, okay. So there's a couple of things there. One is I've heard from lots of people you don't want to go in and undercut other sellers,
right?
Because you'll make enemies, and I have enough enemies. I don't want any more enemies.
Well, the way I look at it there too, if they're ridiculously overpriced, I don't give a shit because they're being stupid on the other side of things.
Exactly. I'm there. If I'm going to sit there for 8 hours, and it's an hour there, hour back.
Yeah.
And let's add another hour for, well, I guess I'm there. So let's say 10 hours. I want to make sure that is worth my at least minimum wage, right? Like it'd be nice to get that.
Yeah. But I mean, if you
sell, so minimum wage is $17 and my margin's around 50%. So that's 34. So I want to make like $400 a day would be good, right? I'm not there to sell $50 of stuff because then it's not worth my time. But $400 of stuff a day is good. But that means I have to replace $400 worth of inventory a week on average, right?
100%.
Yes. And I think 400 is a good day for a lot of those vendors, but I actually don't know. So I have to get that feel for all that. But what I don't want to do is like price a DS game for 20 that sells for $5.
You're not going to do that because that's not a bulk buy anyways. They're not bulk buying from you. That's a single thing.
Right.
So maybe I have to get more detail on what I'm actually saying. So if it's a single like PlayStation or a video game or something, and it goes for, let's say, just for easy calculation, $100 online, and you put $100 on it. Somebody offers me 80, I'm taking it. Somebody offers me 50, I'm not taking that.
That's true. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
I'm just talking about like if somebody's a reseller and they want to come in and buy, you got $10 and something, they're offering you $60 and it's a bunch of keychains. Those keychains are going to sit there forever anyways. People are going to pick through them.
Yeah.
But you're not going to move them that quickly.
And you're going
to
get stuck with the dregs.
Yeah. What's that?
You get stuck with the dregs eventually. Like people will go through that little basket full of keychains. All the good ones will go. And then all the crappy ones that are left over, that's what you see sitting around forever.
Yeah. Well, so then what I would do is once they've sat there for a while, I would bag them up and then put $5 on them. bag of
Yeah, just take
keychains,
everything.
$5, right?
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So the other thing too is like for the value of the stuff in the booth, I want it to be between $1 to $20, that kind of range.
Okay.
Because if it's something, it depends on the size of the item. I'm talking about small items. Because if there's anything that sells for 25 American or more, or 20 American more, I kind of want to put that on eBay.
100%. Yeah.
So, like for example, I got a bunch of, like I said, Ben 10 toys. They all sell for about 8 to 10 American. So I'm putting them in the booth at 10 to 15 Canadian, and we'll see how that goes. They're not really worth it to sell individually online. And I might not have picked them up. I would have picked them up just to take a chance on the lot. But let's pretend I knew that they're only worth 10 to 15 each. I wouldn't have picked them up because I wouldn't necessarily want to lot them online. But in this way, for the booth, I can easily do the $10 to $15 each. That the booth is perfect for that. But we'll see. Like, I don't really know, right? Like that's the other aspect is like I don't know what's in demand in the market. I don't know,
So in addition to that, Carl, like that's a good strategy, and I use that strategy myself for the most part with my booths for eBay stuff. But don't overlook things that are bigger, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Like I'm looking at a wind-up record player from like 1920s. It does the what are they, 75s or whatever that record is, the thicker ones, and it works great. And I picked that out for $50, and it's $250 player. I'm just looking at it right now, so that's why. So don't overlook that kind of stuff for your booth too. You know what I mean?
So
you can get bigger things that I'm not going to ship that on eBay. It's it's half the size of a bed. But what I would do is put that in the booth. I'm keeping this one because it works very well, and I'm going to keep it for a while.
Yeah, I have stuff like that, like cookie jars. I'm looking at my shelving unit, cookie jars. I have big fish. I have very heavy board games. I have lamps.
So those items are all over $20, though, right? Like
those are all over 20, but they're also big.
Right. Exactly.
And they're not like $500. They're more like in the $50 to $100 range, right?
Yeah.
Where I would have like stayed far away from before because I couldn't ship that stuff online.
Right.
And it was too big and bulky. I didn't want to do Facebook Marketplace. So I'm gonna try that. Like, not to talk about the booth for like the whole show here.
No,
but basically, what I'm trying to do is I don't want to. If I can avoid, I want to avoid one-off items in the booth, right? Like, I have a cookie jar, for example. I'd rather have like 5 or 10 cookie jars in the booth at once than bring one cookie jar and put it in the corner. You know what I mean? I rather bunch.
I don't think it really matters. Like people are going to get what they want. Like say it's a Santa Claus cookie jar or a snowman. Like if you just have one of them, but it's Christmas time, they're going to buy it because it's Christmas time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't think it really matters. I think if it's all about the content. I understand your position there, but I think like why keep the cookie jar, 3 of them sitting around while you're waiting for 5? If you want to just take them to the booth, I would just take them to the booth.
I think it depends on if I have room or not.
Yeah.
Like if I have empty space, I don't want empty space, right? But if I could keep the cookie jar until I got other good ones and put lamps, for example, in their place, I'd rather have the lamps because the lamps sell better individually, or like as pairs, and but whatever. Like I said, the first little while is just about getting the flow right. I want to make sure that people pay attention to my booth as they go by, figure out my pricing, even simple things like getting plastic bags to give out. And honestly, I don't even do garage sales. So this is going to be very new to me. And it should be like I used to work retail, but it's different when you're working retail for someone else and it's your stuff you're selling.
Yeah. And pay attention to what they've bought from other vendors. I think that's probably my biggest learning.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Is when I'm working at the store, because I don't have to be there, but sometimes they need an extra hand for whatever reason. So they'll ask me to come in. So I'll come in, and I learned a lot just to see what people are buying, like what kind of glass, what kind of picture, like art, what kind of toys, what kind of whatever, teacups, whatever. You'll be able to unload a lot of those shitty teacups too, because people will come in and buy them, right? Like people still collect them, and some people like this, like the cheaper ones, for
Oh
$5.
yeah. And that's a good point. Another big thing that's going to happen for me is I'm going to do a big purge
Yes.
on my eBay
Perfect.
store.
Perfect.
Because I've had a few things go. I was like, I really don't want to sell that. Like, it's great that I got $10 for that toy, but it's $10 for the toy, $8 for the shipping. Like, really, I'm making $5 maybe at the end of the day. It's just not. And like over time, that my store is being filled with that stuff because they haven't sold, right, for whatever reason. And now I can go from like my store, I think has around 1,200 to 1,300 listings. It'll probably go down to more like 500 after the purge. And then when I do have to go ship something, it's going to be something worth my time. Anyways, we'll see what happens. Like maybe I'm going to hate this thing and I'm going to be like, oh my God, I'm so bored out of my mind every day. I'm not even selling anything. This sucks. And someone stole something from me.
Well, I'll tell you this, just from experience, give it till the end of January. And I'll tell you why, because you're going to have Christmas. There's no sense quitting in like end of September because you've been there for 6 weeks. You know what I mean? Or 4 weeks or 5 weeks. Don't quit at the end of September.
I won't quit at the end of September.
Like give it till Christmas, because you might do all what you want. You might not have any more items. Like after
Christmas. that'd be good and bad.
It'll be good and bad, right? So,
yeah.
But now when you look at when you do your max sold stuff, you can buy bigger items, right? So,
oh yeah, I've already been buying lots of crap. Going, oh,
nice.
I bought all these little Minecraft minifigures.
Yeah,
a big bag of them for $5. Normally, it was stayed far away from this.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, I can get like 50 cents each. It's worth my time. Just put it like a little tiny basket full of these things, 50 cents each, 3 for $1.
Yeah.
And I'll like, it's like a lost leader, not lost leader, but it's like something cheap to bring people in. And we'll see what type of the market is. Cause like, okay, I swear this last thing. The market people, when I'm being there, are generally people 20 and up. And so there is quite a few people in their 20 to 30 range going there.
Okay.
And this stuff is in their range. There isn't a lot of children going there, which in my eyes is actually a good thing because I don't want them being children around my booth. But the 20 to 30 something, they like the Pokemon and all that stuff, right? From the generations before us. So
where they're also not buying on impulse. They're actually looking for certain Pokemon. They're going to be more picky too, right? So,
well, we'll find out.
Yeah,
there's a lot of because this is, like I said, I keep repeating, it's a flea market.
Just don't underestimate it being a flea market. You can still get high dollar, right? So,
yeah,
and if you put a little extra meat on the price, you can do that on some things with the expectation that you're going to be talked down from it, right? So
yeah.
So there's a little bit of strategies in there. You just have to feel it out, but play with it. Don't get frustrated. If people are coming and asking you for discounts all the time, beef the price up by a couple of bucks. If you're selling it for 50, put it to 60. If they want 30 from 50, give them 40 from 60. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're only losing $10 really. Like it's little games that you're playing. So when you said there a couple of weeks ago that people actually price very highly, it's probably because they get knocked down so hard all the time, right? So
I guess, yeah,
they might be pricing a little high because then they're not getting marked down so hard. They're still kind of making where they want to be, but the buyer's feeling like they got a good deal. So
it's going to be very interesting. Like I said, no one prices anything. So I'm wondering if they don't price stuff because they want to start with that high price and they don't want people being knocked away from the price right away. There's a lot of,
it could also be because there's so much stuff that sells that it's just a waste of their time to price it. Like they don't need to price it. Like I think that's an experience. They're probably very experienced vendors and they probably go through a lot of product.
Yeah, but you're right. You're right. I have to try it out.
Right. So, all right, buddy. So, sounds like we got some exciting stories coming in the future, and I look forward to hearing, man. I look forward to hearing it. So I don't know what
Me
else to
too.
say.
Yeah,
Like I
we'll
just
find out
we'll
September.
find out.
September. Yeah.
All right. So everything, lots of exciting stuff here, and you know what? And this is what I think is so important. When you sit there and you watch people, and you kind of watched a lot of YouTubers, especially through COVID and now, and like we're expanding. Like I guess in my way, my expansion went from an antique store to antique booth to many antique booths to selling online. A lot of people sell online, but they're afraid to take these extra little maneuvers to better their reselling experience. But you're not. You're getting right in there. You're jumping in
Well,
full
yeah.
2 feet, and taking those. I don't even want to call them risks, but experiences. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, well, let's be honest. Like, we're putting our faces in front of YouTube. We're obviously not too worried about putting ourselves out there. So our personalities work well with that. Like, you know, I, you just said we're growing. Did you mean we're growing as the number of resellers, or did you mean growing as in our terms of what we do?
I think growing in what we do. Like
Yeah,
I think if you just look just eBay or just Etsy or just Facebook Marketplace or just an antique booth or just a flea market booth, like in my honest opinion, only two of those have potential to be lone wolf successes. And that is the extreme of just doing eBay. Maybe you could do that,
yeah, a
or
lot of people do.
or
Yeah,
or just doing flea market stuff, depending on how you source and where you can source. I don't think I could just do an antique booth and do this full time. I know I couldn't, but I wouldn't want to just do eBay either. Like I think the booth helps me. You know what I mean with that. So but I do think there's a lot of people out there that go to flea markets. They do storage units, they do different things, and that allows them to offload their stuff very quickly for a profit. Where an antique booth, you're kind of pricing a little high. It's very item specific, so it's a little bit tougher. And then you have so many fees coming off because you got to pay rent and commission. eBay's getting a little bit tougher, rent, commission, but there's a lot of competition. But I think if you, and this is, I'm actually speaking from my experience. I feel I need eBay and the antique booth, and to be honest with you, auctions, like
yeah,
selling my stuff on the auction market to unload some stuff that's maybe not overly valuable. I kind of have it in my pile. It's giving me a headache, but I don't necessarily want to give it away because it does have some value. So I think I do those three things. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, like, I think people have to open their mind to other avenues. Not every antique market is going to be successful because not every antique market is the same. I'm very lucky to be where I am, but I've been at two other antique markets before I settled on three large booths in this one here because not all of them are the same. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, yeah. And it's like, if you're trying to do this full time, you need a lot of gross sales.
yeah,
And it's hard to do that. And it's best to you're diversifying your market. So like, if, like, say it's horrible weather or snowstorms every weekend for like a month in January and February, well, the antique mall probably might not get as many people willing to drive through the storm.
it's not
Where on
going to,
eBay it doesn't matter.
right?
But on eBay you could have periods where, like, overall the economy isn't doing as well, but the farmers out near your, not farmers, but like the
Yeah,
weekenders near your place are willing to spend more money on something that they can physically touch to give them nostalgia feelings, right? Like,
yeah,
and so yeah, it's good to be, it's usually, it's true on almost everything. It's good to be diversified. And like we already talked about, items are good on different markets, right? Which is obvious, but sometimes it's like, if I want to sell, like, okay, here's a very quick one, is that, like, that Ben 10 toys, if I found one of the ones that sold for 50, 60, or 70 American, or Canadian, I would put that on eBay. I wouldn't even take it to the booth, because I think that market on eBay is much more willing to pay for that rare item.
Yeah.
But on the inverse, they're a lot less willing to pay for the common item they can easily find in their area.
Right.
Where those items will do better in the booth. You know what I mean? So
for sure. 100%.
For me, it's feeling it out, but it's a well-trod path.
Yeah. And I think it's a great experience. At the end of the day, you're going to learn a lot from it, like as far as negotiation and all that kind of stuff. So I think it's a win-win, Carl. Happy for you. And I hope it's very successful. And I think it's the right size. Like you might end up even expanding to 2 booths, like one.
So yeah,
next to each other.
It's funny you mentioned that. I picked the booth based also on the booths next to me of potential places to grow to, because one side of the booth is brand new as well, and so there's a chance if that one's new, and I know the person next to it already just moved in too, so they don't want a third booth, right? There's a chance that I could eventually get that booth, and on the other side too is a single booth as well. So it's like I actually took that into consideration of like I wanted the potential to grow either side.
Yeah,
because the owner said in the year and a half he's owned it, he's only had 6 vacancies, and so we'll. It feels like people say that.
What does that mean? Like at any one time?
I think over the last year and a half, yeah. But I'm not.
But he's got 5. But he's got 5 now.
He's 5 now, but there's still people in. Okay, as horrible as this, someone passed away.
Oh, okay.
Right. So the booth I'm taking over is someone who passed away, and all their stuff is going to auction. Right. So yeah, he has a vacancy, but not because the person willingly left.
Did you offer to buy it?
All their stuff? No, I don't want all their treasure. They can keep that.
It's not that good.
No.
Okay.
And I did offer to buy all the shelving units though.
Yeah, good.
But we just kind of dropped that. I think he was so busy. The poor guy was running around a lot. So it's like herding cats for anyone who has to deal with all the flea market booth vendors and all the cabins outside. I'm sure he just with funny personalities all day. You need a strong backbone for that.
And I'll just say this too. Some of the successful booths sell a lot of jewelry. So keep that in mind. Jewelry can be very good too.
Well, I have a whole bunch of Avon jewelry.
Well, okay, Carl.
I have a whole bin full of it.
But I mean, cosmetic jewelry, brooches, but also a lot of gold and silver jewelry can do well too.
Yeah, like jewelry, I haven't touched yet because it's like I actually just see a sterling ring the other day, but I don't think it was worth it for the scrap value. It was so thin and small. But anyways, that's another subject. Mostly my booths can be filled with just like the bulk buys I've done. So a lot.
There was one antique market that I remember, and it was far away from here, but I attended it quite a bit years and years ago, but not as a seller. So there was a guy that was in there as a jeweler, and that was his jewelry store. Like he would come in there, he had a machine, he would craft his own rings and all that kind of stuff, but he was really busy. He would repair, he would do a lot, but my point was a lot of people bought jewelry. So
jewelry is great because it's small, it's valuable. It's like two of the best things ever, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I didn't
lots of potential there, buddy. Lots of potential.
So should we get into the comments because it's been 45 minutes?
Well, I'll edit it down. It won't be quite 45 minutes. But yes, we should get into the comments. So we actually had a couple comments on Spotify.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. So do you want me to get into those?
Assuming they're nice comments.
Well,
I haven't seen them.
It was nice about me. It was horrible about you.
Oh man.
No,
okay.
I'm kidding, Carl. But she's left comments before, and it's Tina Mack, and she left 2 on 2 different shows. But I'll just read the comments here. I agree and enjoy longer episodes. I listen the entire time. So longer episodes are more listings, and more sales. Good point.
Excellent.
Yes. So you won't be disappointed by this episode by the way it's going so far. And her other comment, both were on the same day, but they were just so she would have listened to 2 different episodes on the same day. I'm thinking. I'm curious about how you'll do at the flea market. That's for you, Carl. I live close and have been going, for many years. So Tina Mac's, do you know Tina Mac?
No.
Oh, so she's close. So she's been going to that. I live close.
Oh, well, she'll have to say hello.
Yeah, go by and say, Carl, when do you get your booth there? When are you starting?
Either September the 1st or the weekend before. But
so say September 1st
first.
or afterwards. Look for Carl.
Yeah. And yeah, say hi and then
introduce.
That'd be great. Yeah.
I'm curious about how you'll do at the flea market. I live close and have been going for many years. And I find the prices high.
Me too. I found the prices high too. Yeah.
I get the odd bargain, but as a reseller, it's hard to find something. You might do really well if you have yard sale prices.
Yeah, I won't. I don't want yard sale prices. I want in between prices.
Yeah, but so when I mentioned the yard sale thing, like all I meant by not having items priced and kind of doing it like a yard sale is because at a yard sale you're there and at a flea market you're there. But I didn't mean anything like, you're selling it off like a yard sale. I just mean like you're present like you would be at a yard sale. So you can talk your prices. So
the pricing is still a question up in my head of where do I fall. And I won't know for sure until I start selling my stuff. If my booth is too busy, then I know I'm too low. And if I don't get any sales, I know I'm too high. Kind of
and I honestly found by going to the specialty shows with the antiques, things were ridiculously priced and those guys weren't selling anything. But the guys that were kind of on the lower end, but it was still collectible smalls, but they were willing just to let it go. They were making money hand over fist. You know what I mean? They probably had very little into these type of items too, right? So
there's a balance. Like, we've all talked about it before, the antique booths that basically are dust because no one's touched anything on their booth for years.
Right.
And
they're too high priced, and the stores are known to be high priced and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Our store, we have people from other locations coming and picking there. So I think based on that, I'm going to say I'm happy with my prices, but they are probably, 20% lower than most antique stores. But we have people coming back all the time. So
yeah,
and 20% drop, like to me, I don't even notice that. Like I don't need that extra 20%. I'm not looking for that extra 20%. If I want a higher return, I'm going to put it on eBay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, all right, Carl, we're into the comments on YouTube.
Okay.
Do you want to read the first one or Randy's?
Sure.
Doing it wrong or Randy?
I'll do it from doing it wrong first.
Okay.
I've been doing all right selling DVDs and Blu-rays on eBay.
I'm going to stop you right there. And this is for our listeners, Carl. Have you seen the prices of some of the Blu-rays out there?
So you sent me a link to a video and I watched it. I actually watched that one.
Isn't it insane?
It is crazy. And you know what? I actually did look through the Blu-rays the other day looking for those titles just to, just for shits and giggles.
Yeah. I went to my basement and started looking.
Oh, did you really? That's funny.
Yeah. But I'm looking for Airheads Blu-ray.
Yeah.
$300.
I know, eh? I didn't find anything, but
okay, keep going. Sorry, bud.
Yeah, thank you. I accept your apology. Okay, I'll start again. So I've been doing all right selling DVDs and Blu-rays on eBay. Sealed stuff is good. A series lot is good, and so are genre lots. If they don't make sense to sell in a booth or at auction, selling lots online works well. It reduces the shipping overhead to make the price more reasonable. Yeah, so DVDs are really funny. So from Canada, a lot of them be a really tough sell here. Like, right. I think they do qualify for the Slot of Doom, which is the 2 centimeter height thing. But then there wouldn't be any tracking. Not that that really matters when you're selling a $5 to $10 DVD. But I think I know I've picked up BBC sets before for DVD and done well with that. But honestly, it's another one of my favorite categories, which is the valuable and the valueless. I should get that on a t-shirt, right? And DVDs are definitely, and Blu-rays are definitely one of those things where a lot of them sell for like $2 or $3 with those outliers. And if you can, like, horror's the one we talked about before, like that's obviously an outlier, but DVDs are great. So and for me, for the booth, I'm just gonna probably put ours, because even ours have dust, like our personal collection. Our way to take our personal collection, don't even tell Amy, and just sell them online, because like we're not watching this, selling in the booth for $1 or $2 each. So
I wouldn't sell them that low, especially the Blu-rays, because they seem to have a bit of a more desire. I'd probably at least go 4 or 5, like $5 each.
Yeah,
on the Blu-rays.
On the Blu-rays, yeah.
Now, if they're horror, you're probably looking at $10, $12 a piece, and if they're crazy, you're going to sell them online anyways. So
exactly, yeah,
right. So
we don't even have a Blu-ray player here.
People love CDs, cassettes, even 8-tracks if they're rock and roll. They'll do well in the booth. So don't forget about that pulp culture music stuff. But just DVDs alone are just insane what the possibilities are. But 90% of them are probably $5 or less.
I wouldn't pay more than 10 or 25 cents for just a normal lot pair item in a big lot.
Yeah.
Because I think much more than that, you're just going to be, because like you could sell it, like I said, you could try and sell that DVD that was mass produced for a couple bucks, but even then it might have zero demand.
Yeah. Zero demand. That's the
thing.
Yeah. Well, you can lot them up too, though, right? So
you can eventually, but even
yeah. So like people do, like maybe they go to the cottage and they don't have internet or they don't have things, right? So like they'll have a DVD or a VCR machine. So they'll just take this kind of stuff to the cottage, that kind of thing. So there's going to be demand for bulk purchases out there. I think one thing I would be careful with, Carl, is make sure that they're somewhat scratch free. Like give them a quick look, because if you get kind of stereotyped as having shitty DVDs, I bought it, I took it home and it's all scratched. Those people are the ones that keep coming back. So you want to make them happy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to like ditch them. If they're a very expensive one, then just like what I did is I went out and bought a machine that buffs those markings out, right? So if it's just kind of a lot of scuffs and stuff, maybe invest in a machine or sell it online. Like if it's a $200 Airhead or a $300 Airhead DVD Blu-ray, like you don't want to just throw it away because it's got some scuff marks and it might skip. Like either I'm going to fix it on my machine or I'll just disclose that here's $100 Airheads, has some scuff marks that affects the play. What they're going to do is just buff that up anyway. Somebody's going to buff it, take it home, buff all those marks out, and then sell it for $300.
So I'll throw you under the bus.
Okay.
When's the last time you used that machine?
Oh, you're not throwing me under the bus at all. I haven't used the machine, and I have a stack. I have a stack of video games right here that I gotta deal with. However, because I have everything clear now, you got to understand my area was a mess, and I haven't had to go to that.
Yeah,
their PS2 Silent Hill, and actually it's PS1 Silent Hill. It's a $180 game, and it's sitting there, and it's just got a little bit of surface markings, but I got to put it in that machine.
Yeah.
So that there,
I thought I'd take a cheap shot. I just wanted to take one cheap shot during the show.
But I don't find it a cheap shot at all. Like it's just one of those things. But I got the machine, and all I have to do is find the time. Once I get through my Heathkit robot, dismantling it and selling those parts for
Yeah.
$500, $300 a piece per part. And then once I get through my He-Man, my next goal after that is to get through those. So
Okay.
my He-Man is going to be taken care of tomorrow, and my Heathkit robot either Friday or next week. It depends. I
Okay.
might have to go to the booth Friday.
So the next show, I'll ask you how it's going with the robot, and then I'll just keep asking you.
Well, like I said, the robots hopefully it's Friday, but I'm probably going to go to the booth, so the robot will be next week. But you can ask me about He-Man because that'll be done Thursday. Which
Okay, we'll start with He-Man, and then I'll just keep asking you. It'll be great. Okay. You'll love it so much.
Yeah, I don't care. Ask me how many I got listed yesterday, Carl.
Oh, I'm not going to ask you because the answer is already in your favor. So why would I do that?
Yeah, how many did you list yesterday, Carl?
I listed one and I sold it.
Yeah, I listed 14. I've sold 4. I listed 8 on Monday. I sold 4 of them, and I listed 4 on Sunday. But on Monday, I took out 8.
Yeah, well, let me get the tape measure and let's start going here.
So there you go.
Should we go to the next comment?
I will read Randy's comment. Are we on Randy's now?
He left 2, so you can do the second one here. Yeah.
Randy did 2.
Did you?
I only got 1 from Randy.
Sort by new.
I didn't do that. Okay. Hi. I really like the tangents you guys travel. Yes, we do that. Just when I think the conversation is turning left or right, it takes a hard turn across a cornfield heading towards the river. Down by the river.
In a van. Yeah.
Carl, you actually asked AI how to set your prices for the flea market? ? LOL.
You know the funny thing about that is it actually gave me the right answer though, because I looked around and asked other people, and they basically gave me the same answer as AI did. So,
dude, just call me AI because I'll give you the right answer too.
Oh yeah. It was you I asked.
But seriously, lots of sellers at the flea market are not as business oriented as you. A price tag is your silent salesperson. If that's the way you want to go, like I can see it both ways. So I don't really have a dog in the fight on that one, but I understand people not putting a price tag on it. Yes, it may deter the beginning of a conversation, but lots of people do not like to negotiate. Yes, Scotty, I know. I love negotiations.
Thank you, Randy.
I used to price. Hey, I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. I used to price as much as I could, and still people would haggle, which is fine. And the price is high, and I always was willing to take less. Concerning the sellers who are asking more than your price, over the weeks, take note of what is still on their table while you have turned over stock 3 times. It's a good point. I do that at the antique store as well.
Yeah, so for the flea market, you have to kind of look at square footage and what's your return on that square footage, especially since you're physically there.
Yeah.
And you're going to sit there all day. You better be making money, right?
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that the inventory is just not, like I said, those ones that are dust covered, and yeah, you're not getting your money out of it, right?
But at the same time, some of your higher end items really pop up that end of the month sale. Like I look at it as even though I monitor day to day, I really look at the end of the month what I did to determine how well it went.
And that makes more sense, like in your situation. Like for me, it's Sunday by Sunday is very defined periods.
Like if you made,
I will take the average, of course, but
if you made $100 on one Sunday, but the next Sunday you made $1,000,
right?
I think right, and that could very well happen, right? For whatever reason.
Yeah. Oh, weather.
Yeah, or a function, or
yeah,
absolutely
lots of reasons. Yeah.
So I kind of look over the overall end of the month. Where am I here? Plus, the flea market is also a social thing. Same people every weekend, just chatting and hardly ever buying. Used to love it when they would stand in front of my table talking and drinking coffee for 10 minutes while blocking other potential buyers from seeing what I had for sale. In regards to eBay, they have made some improvements, such as shipping costs. Shipping is probably the best thing that they've done so far for Canadians, anyway.
Oh, it's so great.
Yeah.
It was so painful spending $15 for what now ships for $8.
But it's almost impossible to fight against negative feedback. It is impossible. Although mine have been neutral, so I guess I can't complain too much, but it's still like it doesn't make sense. Not going to get into that, but I I agree totally, Randy. I had a buyer in Mexico, didn't even ship to Mexico, whose address would not fit in eBay's parameters. Exactly. That's okay.
Yeah, I've heard this so many times now. It's so weird. I don't know how it's happening, but yeah, people outside of your shipping at locations are somehow buying on occasion. I have no idea, but I've heard it from so many diverse sources now that it's definitely happening. Rare, but it happens.
I could not adjust it. I don't know Spanish, so I canceled sales problem with address and reached out to them to explain the situation. They left negative feedback, and eBay would not remove. I think their system is 1,000 Commodore 64s linked together. Sorry,
Yeah.
Don. It not mean to be too wordy. Wow. Thanks, Scotty, Carl, and Carl,
Yeah.
Randy.
That's very annoying. You know, like I hate the negs, but you know what I did this week is I shipped the wrong thing to the person. Oops.
Eesh.
So they were very nice. They said, "Oh, that's okay." It was a cheap toy, like an $8 toy. So
Yeah.
I said, "Just keep it. I'll send them the other one." It's already off. So that happens too, and hopefully they won't give me a negative for giving them an extra thing.
But the problem is there's no way of hiding it from eBay. Like everything is right there, so you can't just say, you know what, here's a refund, but let's not complain. Well, eBay already knows that you refunded it, so it sucks. But I'll send you a $20 bill in an envelope. Just don't cancel it. I don't know.
I know. Honestly, I don't think it makes that big of a difference.
I had a weird request, and I don't know what to think of it. And I think it's legit, but it could be a scam. So the guy bought a military tag for $100. It's going out today, but his comment was, "Can you please send this without using eBay labels and using Canadian stamps? My son collects Canadian stamps, and he doesn't find the ones in the big nominations. If you look at my feedback, I'm a competent, or like I'm a reliable buyer and buy my stuff. Like basically, he buys it right away, like his payments, right?"
How much was the sale?
$100.
You know what I would have done? I would have taken like 2 or 3 stamps, thrown them in the box.
Well, that actually is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I should reply to it or just mail it off, and then he'll get that as a surprise. Like,
yeah,
because I don't know what he's looking for, but it's just a metal. So if I go outside of eBay, it's probably going to cost me more than the $8 that by buying an eBay label is going to cost.
Right? Yeah, I wouldn't, for $100 sale, I want tracking.
Yeah.
So I would just do what I said, because then it's like, who cares? A few stamps is going to cost you what, like $4 maybe?
No, I have lots of stamps. I have old Canadian stamps.
I just throw a bunch in there because those are so bad anyways.
Yeah.
So, and you're gonna make them really happy for no cost.
Yeah, for sure. And hopefully they're happy. But
hopefully, yeah.
Like, do I send it out like that, or do I use and message him, or do I just send it out without messaging him? Like, before I send it out, should I say, "Listen, buddy, I can't do that because then I won't have tracking and the cover through eBay"?
I wouldn't even go through it. I just say, "Hey, just so you know, no problem. I threw a whole bunch of stamps, or I threw some stamps in the box for his collection, and just leave it."
I have an antique store with lots of stamps. I threw some Canadian stamps in there for you.
I'll leave it at that. I wouldn't even explain why you need tracking and all that stuff. I wouldn't bother.
Okay. All right. So that's going out today. It's a military badge. So we got another one here.
Yeah, not from Randy. I was wrong. It's another one from doing it wrong.
Okay. So we just got 3, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's all I see.
Yeah. I've been fortunate enough to never have someone try to overbid me at an estate garage sale. That's in reference to grandma blocking me from buying the other day. This has got to be resellers' number one unwritten rule. Definitely a way to make an enemy for life. And yet it happens all the time on Facebook Marketplace. So Now, I forgive Grandma. She wasn't paying attention. Only slashed one tire instead of all four. But for Facebook Marketplace, like, I'm not sure what he's referring to there, like undercutting, overbidding someone at a Facebook Marketplace. Like, I have heard, there's someone I'm not not a fan of, and I heard her talking about buying on Facebook Marketplace, and she said to the person on the phone that I'm not going to buy that item unless I can buy all the other items, and you cancel all the other sales. Otherwise, I'm not going to go and pick that stuff up. And I thought, well, that's pretty shady. It's like someone else had like agreed to a price, they're going to go pick it up, and you're trying to get them the seller to cancel the sale. Like, I'm sure that stuff happens. I have heard of definitely this happening. Like, I want $100 for the item. Okay, I'll give you $100. And then on the way, they say, no, I canceled it. I'm putting it up to 200 because 1,000 people have contacted me about the item. Yeah. Like, that definitely happens.
Yeah. Or someone overbid your agreement and you get there and I've already sold it. Yeah, 100%. Because somebody offered me 150, you were only offering 100, so I took the 150.
Yeah, so, and they don't care that you drove there for nothing.
Right.
That's part of Facebook Marketplace.
Yep. Yeah, I wouldn't do that, but just because I think that's wrong. Like, once I made an agreement, basically it's a sale. But if I had a Maud Lewis painting that I was selling for $20 and it turns out to be 20 grand,
yeah,
I'm probably going to do the same thing. So it depends how,
your ethics have price dollar attached to them, is what you're saying.
My ethics totally do, without question. Yep.
Mine too.
I'm not afraid to admit it. It's just the way it is. But okay, so there we go. We got through the comments. Thank you so much for the comments, guys. I don't know why Dawn didn't comment.
Well, she has to get that keyboard to break once in a while.
We had 20 minutes just for Dawn, so we had to fill it in with our conversation.
I know, right?
No, but all right. Thanks everyone for commenting, and Tina Mac for being our commenter on Spotify. So we are on YouTube and Spotify, so audio only. Every Friday we put up a new show. All right, Carl. So what's our topic again today?
So we're going to talk about, like, I've experienced this a lot in my family and other people, is people will buy off Amazon and won't buy off eBay. And why is that? And even I admit I can be that way too, is that when I go to buy something, I first check on Amazon. And, what creates this behavior? Well, just for discussion and maybe like figuring out how to change
I'm going to expand it a little bit more if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
So not just Amazon, but I'm going to kind of narrow it down here. It just banged into my head here. So why do people not buy on eBay? Because I've had situations where I got people at the antique store, right? And they'll come and buy toy soldiers and different things. I remember just recently having that conversation where I was going to put a lot of stuff on eBay, and the guy goes, I don't buy on eBay. Right?
Yeah.
So he wanted me to bring the stuff into the store. So, what is it about eBay? Again, last week, I went, met a couple friends of mine that I haven't seen in years, told them what I was doing. They asked what I was doing. I told them, oh, I've never bought off eBay. So why is it, Carl, people don't buy off eBay?
So I think there's a bunch of reasons. Like, if you're buying something new, like, so my wife, right, she won't buy off eBay, but she has, and her sisters have, but only for used goods. So a lot of people think eBay is really about used items rather than new items. And that's why on Amazon, you can actually, if you're selling an identical item on eBay and on Amazon new, you'll get actually higher prices on Amazon. Because a lot of people don't want to deal with the BS that comes with a used item. And so they go with Amazon. Now this kind of follows up into a second one, which is the problem with eBay is we're all very much independent sellers, each in our own little homes, right?
Yep.
And with Amazon, it's a combination of that. So with Amazon, you have fulfilled by Amazon, FBA, and you have FBM, which is fulfilled by merchant, which is fulfilled by merchants, basically the same thing as eBay, really, right? But I think what happens is shipping becomes a big part of that. So if I buy from a bunch of diversified sellers on Amazon and it's all coming out of the Amazon warehouse, I can get free shipping. And that can be significant, especially in Canada, where it's like you could buy an item for $10 and make $15 in shipping. Where if you reach that $35, I think, value, you get free shipping. And it can actually be cheaper often to buy off Amazon. So that's one of the factors.
I think, and probably I'm going to run off the rails here and not really keep it streamlined. So kind of bring me back into a conversation.
Oh, wow. That's a challenge. Okay.
Dude, I live with it every day, buddy. So what I'm thinking is it's a different mindset. So people who buy on eBay tend to be people who are collectors or want that kind of rarity item. Even though, and I don't say that like narrow-mindedly. Like I know that there's a lot of people who sell a lot of Chinese knockoff stuff and a lot of brand new, that kind of stuff. But I don't know if the audience is quite there that Amazon has for that. Amazon also has almost same day shipping. Like they have their own little private enterprise where people just bring stuff around.
Yeah, I don't want to know.
I don't want to see eBay go that. But one thing they did start doing, and I just don't think it's advertised enough because I only know it because I'm reselling, but they have that authentication process where you can send it to them, they'll authenticate it to make sure it's a real Rolex or, Omega watch or whatever the situation is. So I think that's a step in the right direction, but I just don't think people understand or know about that.
I think the audience for people buying, if you're a collector, you know about eBay. Because you're not, as a collector for vintage stuff, you're not going to go to Amazon. And the Amazon actually might have some of that stuff, I think, but you're not going to go to Amazon. You're going to go to eBay or Etsy or wherever, right? I think the issue becomes when it comes to that cheap stuff that comes from China, right? Generally, people are going to go to Temu or Amazon because there's less, you're covered a little better, I think, than from eBay. So eBay covers you, but it's more of a pain in the butt process, right? With Amazon, they got their sellers under a tight leash. So if you have so examples, like if you have a problem on eBay with a purchase, you don't know what you're going to get at the other end from the sellers. You get some very unprofessional responses on eBay. Where on Amazon, if you got an unprofessional response from a seller on Amazon, you can bet your buckets that Amazon's going to go hard on that person, and they could potentially lose their account. So you're less likely to deal with BS, I think, on Amazon, and that's a big factor. You mentioned same day shipping. Well, we can't. That's not possible, really. Not for us. We don't have the transportation network that Amazon has, so we can't even compete on that. Thankfully for collectors, they're much more willing to accept 2 or 3 day handling time. Where on Amazon, if you don't get that shipped that night, you kind of wonder what's happened, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Amazon, everyone just knows about Amazon. You don't even need to advertise it, right?
Right.
Everyone knows. eBay, I think people forget it exists sometimes. Oh, it's like, is that still a thing? Is that still around? And I never see eBay advertising. But that's probably because I don't watch TV or listen to the radio or do any of those things. I can't. Like with eBay, I'm much more concerned about other issues than I am. Like I'm talking about personally how I feel.
Yeah.
Than I am. I think they have other things they had to fix up first that we talked about before in the other show. What bugs they have. And like when I search on Amazon, I can generally find what I'm looking for, where their software is so much more advanced, I find, than eBay. And eBay, you have to kind of learn to live with that system, which is a big disadvantage. And that might be another reason why people buy off Amazon, is you can find what you're looking for,
I think you can find what you're looking for on eBay.
I think it takes more work. Like if you spell something wrong on eBay, it just won't come up.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's too restrictive on there. They're trying to fix it, which is why they put in all those like item specifics. They're trying to bring in some order to their search algorithm, which works a little bit, right? Like if you put in the color red, like you have a red hoodie, right?
Yep.
In the past, you put that in the title, you put that in your description, and you hope that someone types in red hoodie. But now they can just type in the word hoodie, and then because of the item specifics, they can click on that little checkbox that says red. Just show me the red ones on the side. That's why they did all of that. But at the same time, like for a lot of obscure things, like I said, if you spell it wrong, it just won't come up. I see it all the time. Where in Amazon is smart enough to go, oh, you meant this, right? But if we get back to the topic, which is why are people buying off Amazon and not eBay? I think because the market's a little different. The bullshit is much higher on eBay with dealing with sellers.
In what way? In what way?
People. So I've had this where I bought stuff and their description did not reflect what I got. Right? Okay. Where on Amazon, if that happens, you say there's a problem with this item, they almost give you your refund right away, right? Yeah. And there's no fighting with the seller. They're not like, you're a lying buyer, blah, blah, blah. Call eBay involved, blah, blah. You know, there's all that extra headache if you have an issue on eBay than on Amazon. And like I said, Amazon sellers are scared of Amazon. eBay sellers are almost fighting eBay, and they'll think they're justified even when they're not, right?
So okay. So I'm going to say thanks to eBay, because when you look at the return rate on Amazon, I wouldn't want to be a seller on eBay if I had that return rate. I don't care if I get that sell rate. If I'm getting a return rate like they get too, I still can't keep a business, right? So I'd rather have the sell rate that I have on eBay based on listings to sales, that kind of thing, with the low amount of returns.
Right. So if we're going to talk about, so I was talking about this topic in terms of the buyer's perspective, right? If you're talking about as a seller's perspective, the big advantage of Amazon is the turnover rate. So if you put up 100 items on Amazon or 100 items of the same new items on eBay, I can guarantee you the Amazon ones are going to sell a lot faster, even at a higher price. So even though your return rate is higher on Amazon, I shouldn't say for sure, but your turnover rate's higher. Your profit per time spent might be a little higher for new ads, but I haven't done it. But I understand that's the advantage.
The problem is with the return rate, you still have money invested in those products. So if they're returning them, either you're paying for shipping, therefore you're losing money within that product, right? It's costing you more to have that product. So I don't think the return rate could at all, like there's no way I could be successful on eBay with a return rate like Amazon.
That's because we sell one-off items generally.
That's right.
Right.
So now we got to figure out how else can eBay bring people in to buy there, to feel comfortable to buy there, whatever the issue is. I personally don't think I just don't think they know about it. I just don't think, like, maybe they don't have the interest in what's being sold there. Like, I know people can sell all sorts of parts for brand new parts for whatever situation. That's not what I sell. So I don't care if people come and buy that stuff off eBay or not. I just, based on what I sell, I'm just wondering what it would take to let people know and feel comfortable doing that.
I think if you want buyers to be more comfortable, you have to start, people aren't going to like this, but you have to really start gunning down on your problem sellers. And I don't think eBay's willing to do that or can't do that.
I think they are doing that myself. I think so.
Maybe.
Right?
Like I just think about my buys on eBay. Generally, they've been good, but there have been a few bad ones. One where the item was not really what they said that it was. And another one is they shipped it in a different way than they said they were going to ship it, which was, I paid for the premium shipping and they used a different type of shipping, right?
Yeah.
And on Amazon, you don't have to worry about that. on Amazon, like if I'm gonna, like I said, the other big reason I buy on Amazon versus eBay is the shipping costs. Like my overall cost to buy on Amazon is cheaper than eBay. If I'm buying it, like if I get to that $35, I get free shipping. That's a huge advantage that eBay can't do, obviously, right? So eBay can't really fix either of those things.
You know what? I'm just brainstorming as we're sitting here talking. But is there a way that eBay can link? Like, I guess they'd have to be careful, but maybe you could do, instead of doing your videos like you do on YouTube, or maybe you could do it on YouTube and link it. But somehow, if they can link, like if you had a show like Shed Flips or like Craigslist Hunter, you know what I mean? And you can
No.
invite people. Well, the only people that go and watch those people on YouTube are YouTubers. They're not necessarily eBayers. But if you could bring your show to you or to eBay, where people could come in and watch you, you know what I mean, and kind of get to know you as a person with a store. Like when people come to the antique market, they know us. You know what I mean? They talk friendly to the, like Steph. They all ask for Steph, or they know when Steph's in, or they know Anna, like the owner, and you know what I mean. So it becomes more of a personality. It comes
Right.
like you're going to see that when you go to the. And I'm brainstorming. I don't even know if it's possible.
I see what you're saying. I've had that experience as a eBay seller when the buyer kind of feels they know
Because
you.
right now all you see is a banner. But if you come to Scott's store, I can talk to you in person. It's a pre-record. But I'm like, hey guys, like this is my setup here. This is where I do my shipping and receiving. You know you're going to get a good product. You know it's going to be packed well. Look at all my packing supplies. This is how I treat my inventory. You know what I mean?
So I'm gonna bring you back a bit here.
Okay.
So I would say that if we stick to the subject, which is Amazon versus eBay,
yeah,
I would say with Amazon, they're even less aware of who you are as a seller. In fact, I think on Amazon, when a lot of people are buying off Amazon, they think they're buying off Amazon and not a reseller, where 70% of the time they are.
Okay, so I'm going to bring you back a little bit.
It doesn't, obviously it doesn't matter if we're comparing Amazon to eBay.
But I don't think this topic, in my mind, wasn't about comparing the two. There were why people buy more off Amazon and not eBay. So let's figure out a way. How can more people be there to buy off eBay? I'm not comparing it to Amazon so much as a business, because I think they're two separate entities, and I wouldn't want eBay to turn into an Amazon by any means. I'm thinking more of like, how can we bring more people into buying off eBay? So I'm just thinking, like, if it becomes more personable, you know what I mean?
Do you care about the person you're buying from on eBay?
In some cases, I do.
Okay.
In some cases, I do, because I'll get a big thank you. I remember once I sold this. It's kind of mouth harp, and the person wanted me to send them my email address so they can send me a video of them playing the harp that I bought from them. And
I've experienced stuff like that too.
And I'm like, I can't do that, but I would love to see someone playing that harp, and I would love to put that into a YouTube video of mine. Like,
I had someone send me pictures. Like they used the pencils I'd sold them, and they hand colored all this stuff and sent me the stuff, right? Which is very personable. It felt a little icky to me, though.
Like, I don't find it icky. I find it like someone really appreciated something that I appreciated enough to pick from an estate, and they're so happy that they've got it. You know what I mean? So, you know, I just think there's a vibe there that could really draw people in on a personal note. And sometimes people will buy on impulse because they're happy in the environment at the antique booth. Maybe more people would be more impulsive to buy from your store if they kind of knew who you were.
Actually, that's a good point. I agree with that. It has nothing to do with the topic.
That's what it does. Like, how do we increase sales? Like, what would make people want to buy more from eBay than Amazon? You know?
Well, the question was, why do people buy off Amazon and not off eBay?
Yeah, and I'm saying they would buy more off eBay if made it personable.
It's not like we've ever stuck to the topic before. But yeah, like, but no, I agree with you. Like, if you can make that, like, I'm horrible. My eBay store name is just like Carl with a bunch of numbers after it. Like, I haven't even bothered to put a real store name on there.
Yeah.
Because, like, for me, from my perspective, I don't care about the seller, but that doesn't mean other people feel that way, right? So no, I agree with you. If you could have maybe more of that stuff, like even have it. I hate it though. Like, you know, when I click on someone's YouTube channel and they have like intro video automatically playing, I can't stand that. I hate it. I hate it. But I get it. Other people like that stuff, right? So maybe you're right. Like if our eBay store was more like like this is, you've come into Scott's store. Here's the unique presentation rather than here's okay. And I have a bunch of thoughts going in my head, right? So I have different opinions on some stuff. Like people say that you want to create brand loyalty on eBay because you want the same customers coming back and back again to buy stuff. I only find that's true with niche stores. Like stores like mine where I sell everything, but generally all my buyers are unique buyers.
Yeah, but let's
So I
put it
wouldn't
this
benefit from that is what I'm saying.
So I'm going to think of it like a little bit tweaked differently, and because we see things so similar most of the time, it's very rare that we have some things that we see differently, Carl.
I know, right?
But if in this case, like if I'm going to come in and buy something for $300,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
but I have a chance to click on this video and kind of get to know this guy, you know, and in the spiel, I'll say, look, I have an antique booth. I've been selling antiques for 10 years, 9 years. And I've been doing this for a long time. I've been on eBay for 3. You know what I mean? So I'm here to help you out. If you have any questions, this is me. Give me a shout. You know, I answer all questions.
Yeah, it's true. Like
You
it
know what I
can't
mean?
hurt.
I take pride in the way I ship things. You know,
Right.
here's my shipping room. Here's all my supplies. I got tons of boxes, packing supplies. I make sure it gets to you safe. Almost like one of those car sales pitches. You know, the cars are out there. Come and buy my car.
Honest Eds, honest Carls,
Honest Carl's. I know the Tesla over there has no battery in it, but everyone else is good. I just
oh my
kid you, Carl.
God.
You hammer me all the time on the gas guzzling beast, so I gotta hit it back down then. But
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
but no, I think you have a good point. Like, they're like,
come on down to Scott Sales Stuff where we
yeah,
got
but it's like
typewriters.
if you're spending $300 on a used item off eBay, right?
Yeah,
You damn well want to have confidence in who you're buying off of, right?
100%.
As opposed to Amazon, where you know Amazon's going to cover your butt no matter what, right?
Yeah,
I don't trust eBay to cover my butt as much as a buyer, despite how much they say, because I find eBay is not as professionally run as Amazon is, or maybe not
I
even
think
with
eBay would
professional,
have to
maybe
put in
cold.
restrictions. Like you couldn't have some hot chick in a bikini running around.
Oh yeah,
saying,
people.
Hey,
Yeah, you get those listings where you just see cleavage with the item in front.
Exactly.
I forgot about that. I haven't seen that. eBay definitely cracked down on that at some point. But
because I'm gonna change my store to Naughty Nancy sells things.
Well, you know, I can shave my chest here and I can make the cleavage for you if you want.
I'll go hire some stripper to do my like little intro. And here we put things in the bottom.
Oh, people would so do that too. You know it
with care.
Yeah, it's like we've talked about it before. It's hard.
And you can get her bouncing up and down with the box, saying like, "Look, it shakes, but it doesn't break."
Now we're off the rails. It's not going back on the rails. That's it. So thanks everyone for yeah. You know, it's so hard to come.
You can have like porn names, Bouncing Beauties.
There we go. I'll just let you go. Just keep going. Let me know when you're done. I'll just sit back here and relax. I got
all right, Carl. Sorry, buddy. Hey, this is the comments we want next week. If you have any like,
I thought you were done. You just told me you're done, you liar.
If you have any funny names that you can call your store, like porn names for your eBay store, that would be hilarious.
I honestly do have to think of a good store. Like I want to get a banner at the flea market.
Yeah,
but not until I've like made firm what my marketing is. Because right now it's not there, but I would like to have a banner and all that stuff. It's like because it does make a difference. You're right. Like joking aside, forming connection and not in a manipulative way, but more in we do this because we enjoy it, right?
Yeah. Yep.
and that stuff doesn't make a difference. And on Amazon, one of their advantages is when you buy on there, you think you're buying off Amazon and people trust Amazon. And on eBay, you know you're buying off some smo and you hope for the best, right? But if you can take advantage of that hope for the best by adding confidence, adding that personal connection, a genuine personal connection with your buyers, then yeah. And I think that's very true in your, even more true in your antique booth and also or flea market, right? So you have good points there. It's just a lot of work.
Like, but we're here to sell sweaty balls.
Sweaty balls.
Sweaty balls. Oh, have you not seen that on Saturday Night Live?
No, I haven't.
Oh my god, that's the funniest. Yeah,
I knew the band reference by the river. That's good.
Sweaty balls. You got to watch that after this show. You got to go on YouTube and do sweaty balls with Alec Baldwin.
Oh man.
Oh my god, it was the funniest thing ever, Carl. Anyways, I don't know. My mind is gone.
I know. I can tell.
After an hour and a half, I'm just.
Should we? So I think we're almost done here. Like, there's nothing else I really wanted to say. Just like the two different markets. I think overall, there's just a few things, which is Amazon gives you cheap shipping if you're buying. That makes a big difference. You can trust Amazon more than the random eBay seller. And if you're buying new, I go to Amazon because I just trust it more. If I buy new off eBay, a lot of people call things new, and really it's just they feel it's nice enough to be new. You know what I mean? There's that BS too.
Well, I think that's rare too, though, Carl. Honestly,
yeah.
I think in the search platform, for the most part, like I don't really see, like I see color as a difference, but the actual how you search for an item isn't really different between the two. You can put a shopping cart, you can hold stuff like in your cart without buying it, but come back to it.
So
you can be a watcher, you can get a discount.
But you know how often I've had people complain like combined shipping doesn't work on eBay, like it didn't work for them, and on Amazon it just seems Amazon's more clean. eBay is so eBay I find is getting a bit more like, let's put advertising all over your listing for other stuff. It's becoming less and less clean over time. Like, here's a banner showing this and that of stuff you're not even.
I think Amazon does that too, though.
Yeah, they probably both do it, to be honest. I find it very frustrating. eBay frustrates me.
Like, I don't really notice it.
Yeah, but you're a seller too, right? You're like, when's the last time you bought something off eBay?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. For the most part, for the most part, I buy very little even on Amazon, but it's usually like like things I can't get around here, like magazine sleeves and boards and stuff.
Me too. Yeah.
Basically because it's already saved. I've already purchased off there and it's already saved, like, so I can just go in there and just order by clicking a few buttons, right? So
that's the other big advantage that Amazon has.
But it's because you're going in for the same stuff. Where if I sell this military diary from World War I for $300, people can't come by and buy another one. It's a one-off, right?
Yeah.
But they can't go to Amazon and buy that book either.
No,
they can't go anywhere. It's a one thing. So it's a little more difficult. But all I'm saying is that's why I go to Amazon for that. And I'm not selling magazine sleeves, so I don't really care if, people buy them on Amazon or eBay, because I'm not into that. But other than that, I'll go for boxes and stuff. I'll go to Staples nearby. I'll go online and I'll order it and I'll go pick it up. Right. So.
Oh yeah, really? Because it's free shipping, so I just get it delivered to the house.
It's 5 minutes away, and I usually don't order. Like, I guess maybe I do. I don't know. I guess the last time I ordered was probably $150, $200 worth.
Yeah, I just like for me, it's an aside, but every time I've ordered off Staples, like, it's shipping, the amount you had to buy for free shipping is really low as well. Not even. Yeah,
I don't think I have that option here. I think the only option is they ship it to the store.
Maybe it's your postal code. Maybe it's the only.
Yeah,
because you're in the, the countryside a bit there, so maybe that's why.
The hillbilly. I mean, hillbilly's
hillbilly. Yeah. Staples is where I buy everything pretty well. And actually, anyways, that's another story.
It used to be Uline, but I hated it. Was an hour and a half drive to go and pick it up, but now Staples has come down pretty much equal in price. Like Uline was a lot cheaper at one point, but
yeah, I think with Uline you had to buy such a huge amount at once to make it worth it.
Yes,
because the shipping was insane.
Yeah,
that basically now I'm set up with all my shipping supplies. Now I'm just like adding my 6x4x4s. I go through so fast that that's basically I'm just ordering a bunch of that at once.
And to be honest with you, the post office is right beside the Staples, so it doesn't really matter. Matter. So I'm going there anyways. I'll just
Right? Anyways, we're going off topic. Maybe we should time to end this section.
All right, buddy.
So well, thank you everyone for listening. We don't know a topic for next time. I don't even know if I'm going to be here. There might be a surprise guest or something. I don't know. That's Scott's problem, not my problem.
I'll get a guest if you're not here. But all right, so I think that's pretty much sums it up. We pretty much solved the issue, and if eBay's listening and they fix that and listen to our recommendations, everybody will be buying off eBay. But just a little craziness went on today. I don't know.
Yeah, too much coffee. Okay, well, thank you everyone for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, and we look forward to the comments. We are here every Friday, both Spotify and on YouTube. You leave a comment either place, and have a good week, Carl.
You too. See you later.
And have a good week, everybody else, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, everyone.